Welcome to the Resellers Niche Podcast, a show for e-commerce buyers and sellers where we investigate unique categories of items being bought and sold and show you how research equals knowledge equals profit. And now the duo who'll never leave you shortchanged. It's your hosts, Russ and Mo.
Howdy, folks. Today we've got a slightly different show than we usually do. It's still myself. This is Mo Fremont and Russ Lee. How's it going, Russ?
It's going good, Mo. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm actually going to be doing the interview today, and Russ is going to be being interviewed, or the one being interviewed, as Roaming Pickers. That's actually his original YouTube channel, and that's what we're going to be discussing. It's going to be Travelage with Roaming Pickers.
You got me in the hot seat today.
That's right. We'll try and see, try and dig in to find out what this is all about, how this works out. So, Russ, why don't you give, for anybody that hasn't heard the show before, give them a little backstory on yourself, and then we'll go into some questions.
Sure. I have been reselling for quite a few years, full-time for the last year, June 1st. So, I love reselling. I mean, it's just a great, I'm happiest when I'm doing deals. I'm happiest when I'm picking. Like a lot of people, I'm not happy when I'm listing, so. Yeah, like a lot. But so I've got that in my blood, and I love travel. I was an Air Force brat. I lived in a lot of different cities, and I was real young when my father retired, and I've lived in a lot of different cities since I've been an adult. So for me to be into another city, it's not that big a deal. My family is kind of centrally located. I've got a small family left, centrally located, kind of like in Louisiana. Yeah. So it's that. The fun thing about it is, I've picked up twice in the last 10 years and moved to cities not knowing a soul. So,
Wow.
Yeah,
well, I think we're going to come back. I'm going to ask you about that. Just real quick, if you can kind of give a quick overview of what Roaming Pickers is going to be about, and then we'll backtrack and go to the beginning.
Sure. My idea with it, of course, I want to be on the road, and I want to do Travelage with eBay, Amazon, local, OfferUp, Craigslist type stuff on the road. So that's finding items and also selling items 100% on the road.
Nice.
Some of the things that I'll be doing with the channel, I love meeting other resellers and other people, like-minded people. It just motivates you. You and David had a podcast yesterday, and he talked about motivating, and meeting other resellers just really gets you going. So I'm going to be doing some meetups with resellers just in the community. We are going to offer help if we go to a town and somebody needs a little bit of help with some ideas or a little bit of motivational help, like that aspect. As we're going, I'll be talking about the thrift stores I find in those locations.
Nice.
And of course, we'll be doing on the channel, we'll be talking about some of the leisure time of it. I mean, you can't not be driving across the country and talk about the things you see.
Okay. That's an adventure right there. That was more than a mouthful. So, I guess let's go back to the beginning. You touched on it already. You kind of moved around a little bit as a kid, and could you talk about maybe the cities you lived in and how that worked, moving from place to place?
When you grow up, if you grow up without air conditioning, you don't know what air conditioning is.
That's right.
So we grew up, and our name came out in the phone book, and we thought it was time to move.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it was just, we moved frequently. I think we stayed in Texas for like 5 years. Then we went to Colorado and moved twice there, and then my family ended up in St. Louis. Now, this was all by the time I was 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so from that, now I stayed in St. Louis for 25 years, but I would go do contracts around the country. So I was always trying to, I was always on the move and taking vacations and stuff like that. And then about 20 years ago, I started on the move myself, and I've been in, 5 different cities in 20 years.
Oh, wow. How many different driver's licenses do you have? Just
all of them. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's always a fun thing to do. You got to get the driver's license. So we've been in here in Florida for 2 years.
Okay.
Just right at 2 years, we picked up, and when we were in Mobile, Alabama, and just said we want to go to Florida. So literally sold everything out of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
Wow.
And we moved down here in a 5x9 open trailer. So we're kind of okay with, we've already kind of gone through the purge of.
So you're already super downsized right then.
Absolutely.
Just since we're on the subject, because that right there is probably the hardest thing for anybody to do, mentally and physically, just to downsize from that much to that, from big to small like that. That's an HGTV show right now. If somebody else was thinking about most people are just thinking about moving, let alone moving to a smaller spot. How would you even, how did you kind of get your head around downsizing that much?
Well, being a reseller helps, and I'll tell you why. I moved to Savannah, Georgia in 2007 in 4 boxes.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And then I met my wife, Carol, and we developed and built a house together, and she kind of purged before she moved to Savannah.
Okay.
So when we met together, we had we had a house to build. It was just her and I. So we went through, and what does a reseller do? Where do we find our stuff?
That's true. You're not going to find that at a regular retail store.
Right. So garage sales, thrift stores, everything like that. We bought a leather couch there, very nice leather couch set at a garage sale. This couple had been given a home fully furnished from one of their relatives. So they were selling all their stuff out. We bought a 3-piece couch set, leather, high-end leather, for $200.
Nice.
So, so when I say, what do you parse down to, what do you do, or how do you get down to that? It was easy for me as a reseller. And then when we moved here to Mobile, I sold it all at garage sale and Craigslist. So some of the stuff like that couch set, I zeroed out on. I think I sold that for like $150.
Oh, that's still not bad.
No, I used that couch set for 6 years. So 50, that's like less than $10 a year for a couch set. And same way with everything. We if we needed something, we find it at garage sales, thrift stores, that type of area. I don't pay retail for anything. So it was easy to get rid of it. There was no attachments to it.
Okay. Was there any one item that you said, you know what, I should have kept that?
No, I can't think of.
That's awesome. I mean, that you can get to that mindset.
It's just maybe I would have thought, well, maybe I could have got more for that recently.
No, but the fact that you got something for it, because I remember when we moved, we had like a dorm. It was like a post-college house. There's like 4 of us in there. We got this couch that was donated to us. I remember it wasn't that bad. We shopped it around. We ended up having to dump it outside a thrift store because they wouldn't actually take any more couches. They were overloaded.
They were over. Yeah.
So we had to wait till they closed, and then we put it right in front of the gate as close as we could on the side.
Dump and go. Yeah. So it's when you do that, it's strange to think that now, and I'm complete opposite the way that I lived in my early part of adulthood. I was very attached to a lot of things, and moved a 4-bedroom house to Florida my first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a lot of that has to do with, changing lifestyles. And I tell you, Mo, moving here, I mean, when I went to Savannah in 4 boxes was freedom. But moving here, Carol and I, and literally with the bed, we kept our king size bed and, our stuff in a 5x9 open U-Haul trailer.
Wow.
It's freeing. It can be really a freeing experience.
It is. It's like the only thing I could equate it to is anytime that anyone's ever left their phone behind and you can't go back and get it for like a day or like a weekend. That's the only thing I could equate it to. Like, you're like, you know what? Nobody can call me and there's nothing I can do about it.
Right. So you just go on and you learn what you can do with and what you can do without.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had multiple major moves and you've gone from big to big, big to small. And then you're going to go from small to smaller or non-existent.
When we moved to Florida here, we bought a mobile home in a 55 community.
Okay.
And it is 12 feet by 60. And it does have a screened-in porch and an extra Florida room. We probably don't use half the place.
So you've kind of already got, for the last 2 years, you've already got to the mindset where you're like, you know what? We're going to be, it's kind of like just in time. You're going to use what you need when you need it, and that's it.
Yeah. And then and the reseller part of me says, if I need it, I'm not going to buy it retail, or I'm going to find it out there.
Makes sense.
In the community. So I would like another example. We have a Sharper Image New Wave oven. Picked it up for $10 at a garage sale. We've been using that. We love that thing. I'm going to sell that for $20.
Nice.
So I got paid to use it, so to speak. But yeah, it's parsing it down is it can be tough. I do have some things that are personal that I'm considering. I'm struggling with what I have to do with them on this move, even though because we are going into an RV.
Gotcha.
And they're plants.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really into plants, and I've got a plant that is it's a cactus plant that.
How would that even work? I mean, in terms of, I'm not sure how you would, I mean, like transport that. I mean, how do you have to keep it in soil? Do you have to keep it?
You would. Now, luckily, this one's a cactus, so
okay.
It can be in a closed RV or something like that. But it's pretty big.
Okay.
In an RV, it's all about space and weight.
Definitely.
So I'm struggling getting rid of that plant or giving that to somebody because it's been in that variation of that plant. My family's been growing it for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. My most prized possession is a plant. So,
but it's something that keeps growing. So it's already a reseller mentality.
It's
something that gives back.
Gives back, and it has meaning. Every generation of my family has grown some variation of this plant. So
that's nice.
Yeah,
that's
just
nice.
something a little silly. But.
Okay, so let's move to. I know you've talked about RVs, but there's a couple different vehicles that you've been looking at. Could you kind of go over what you were planning on possibly moving across the country in?
Absolutely. First, we thought of a fifth wheel, and that's a pull behind the truck.
Okay.
Then we looked at travel trailers.
Okay.
And that's just your normal camper pulls behind the truck. And then you look at there's Class C's that are cab over. They're built off of like a van. And then you've got your Class A's, which are the big coaches and the Winnebago type areas.
Gotcha.
All those are great options for people. Carol and I decided that the option we want to go with is to get a school bus and convert it into a tiny home on wheels.
That just sounds so cool to me.
It's funny. It's funny how many people are doing it now, and we've had the idea for a couple of years. We almost did this 2 years ago before we moved to Florida.
The only question I would have about that is if you were ever near like a school zone, or is that so do you have to put a sign or something that says, you know what, not active school bus or something?
No ice cream.
Yeah, there you go.
No, actually, there's laws concerning that. You cannot. You can own a school bus, but you cannot drive around with it to the school chrome yellow. You have to paint the bus.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what would you, I mean, just say you get a regular yellow school bus. What are you going to paint it?
We'll probably paint it metallic. We've got the design out, metallic, base bottom with a cool turquoise color or some modern type.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going more of a modern mid-century mix with Art Deco. We want it to kind of look like an Amtrak train inside.
Okay.
Or a plane. So.
Okay. And then, I mean, does this school bus, is it literally like they were using this, or is it already like they've taken the seats out, the stop signs come off, all that kind of stuff, or is it like empty on the inside?
Typically, you get them to where the kids have gotten off the school bus, they park it in the yard, and then they sell it.
That fast, okay.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no stragglers.
Right. No, we don't want any extra passengers. So, yeah, I mean they evaluate them and they go through and sell them. And so you can find some that are partially done. You can find some that are completely done.
Okay, so I'm assuming you would want to do a lot of that work yourself. Are you looking to possibly, if you had what would your perfect bus look like the way you would want it? How would you describe it?
Sure. Open, very minimalist.
Okay.
Very airy, very light, let a lot of the light in. I don't like walls. And then the important thing is the space for eBay and Amazon inventory.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's a question I get a lot. What are you going to do with inventory? What are you going to do with, a lot of thought has been put into that, what's going to happen.
Does a school bus, because I know Greyhound, they offer a service where you can put stuff underneath it. Does a school bus actually have like I don't know if it's a compartment or something underneath?
That's called a basement in a
coach. Okay. Oh, they do have that.
But you can build into that and add to it.
Okay.
You can modify it. They're very easy to modify. That's the amazing thing about school buses. They're easy to deconstruct the inside.
I imagine if you took out all those seats, you'd have a lot. How wide would that be? And how long?
It's about 7 feet wide.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then you've got, depending on the school bus, there's different styles. The one we want is about 40-foot length and about 32 feet of usable space.
That's pretty big.
So, yeah. For 2 people, it's an efficiency apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as far as like, I'm trying to wrap my brain around this a little bit. Is there going to be like a mini kitchen? Can you build a bathroom? Is that something people do? Absolutely.
They have, if you think of about an efficiency apartment,
okay.
That's just a good way of looking at it. Your efficiency apartment, you got your bedroom, your small kitchen.
Okay.
Much like an RV. Everybody's been inside an RV and they have the small, and plenty of cabinet space. Of course, when you're going down to minimalist, you don't need much cabinet space. We're literally going to take, I think, 4 bowls, 4 plates, and that's still debating. We're debating if it's going to be 2 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another silly question. Do you get to keep the stop sign?
Yes, you do.
You do?
You do. You can't use it, but you get to keep it. Yeah. You get the swing arms, the flashers, everything. One I saw recently still had the cameras in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing.
Well, I went to school before they had cameras on school buses. So
yeah, we did. Yeah.
I'd be lucky if it had 4 tires. I mean,
I went to school before they had school buses.
There you go. No, this is really, really okay. So you've got it decked out. You've got it ready to go. You've got it painted. What is it? What's the travel plan? You're going to be leaving Florida, and where are you going to be going to? Do you have
Yeah, we're going to build out probably in Louisiana. That's where most of my network of people, my friend. That's where a lot of my friends are. And,
okay.
Like I've got a nephew that does electrician. He's an electrician. I've got a nephew that's a plumber. So I have that network of people and space to do it. It takes space to do this.
Okay.
So
and then along the way, you get thinking about thrifting or going the whole way thrifting and RAing.
Right. We're the way there. We're going to be hitting some places. We've got to go through I-10, which is back to in the Mobile, Alabama area, New Orleans, North Florida. And we're hoping to hit some places based on time, what we have. Of course, we won't have the RV at that time. We're going to build it in Louisiana.
Okay, so you're going to go to Louisiana, build it there, and then go from there.
Then go from there, right.
Got it. So then when you did have it, how does it work with parking? So let's just say you're not actually at home yet, or you're not at your destination yet. How does it work? Let's just say, I mean, can you park it anywhere? Are there specific spots to park?
You can pretty much, well, you park it anywhere it fits, and you can get in and out of.
Okay.
Yeah, but as far as like overnight parking or sleeping arrangements and stuff, you have to go to a campsite or a private lot, a friend's driveway, or a friend's street, that type of thing.
Gotcha.
You got to check the rules of each city you go to. It's like if you go into a metro area, sometimes they only allow you to overnight on the street for 3 nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about let's say the 1-year plan, or I'm not sure if you've even thought it out that far, but what were you planning on? Like, was there a distance? Do you say, you know what, I want to go all the way this far, this way, or I want to hit this state? Did you have kind of like a strategic plan, or were you just kind of doing it locally at the moment, or how are you planning that out?
No, it's kind of wide open. We want to follow the road where it takes us. And we do have a plan. August, there's a large sale that we want to get up to in the Midwest.
Nice.
And we want to hit that. And of course, back in the Midwest, I again, know areas and know people. So we're going to do that. And then from there, we don't know. It could be East Coast. It could be out in the mountains. It could be up in the north.
Okay. Since you say the mountains there, are there any, driving wise, are there any like weather issues that you probably want to kind of avoid, obviously, or
6 feet? Yeah. 6 feet of snow.
That wouldn't be good.
Yeah. That's the advantage of a school bus is it's a pretty tough, they build them to withstand stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Nice. Okay. Because this is just the neatest idea that I've ever, because I've heard of people trekking across country, and it's like, I'm in my Prius or I'm in my Civic or something like that, and it's like one guy, and it's like jam packed, or an RV, but a school bus. And you said it was called something. What did you call people that do this?
Skoolies.
Skoolies. So that's like a thing. It's like
a thing. It's a hashtag. Yeah.
Hashtag Skoolies. Okay.
But it's Skoolie.
Okay. Skoolie. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. That's awesome. Okay. And then, so moving from there, are there any new types of, thrifting you think you could do that? Or are there, I should say the opposite, actually. Is there anything you probably would cut out of your reselling business with the school bus?
Yeah, it would be extremely hard to do long-term hauls or the slow nickel long haul items.
Gotcha.
Say like right now I got 200 pairs of jeans listed.
Gotcha.
That would be really hard to have. First of all, that's 200 extra pounds that I'm paying gas to move it.
Okay.
And then if they don't sell for 3 to 6 months, now I'm hauling these all around the country.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you've got things like that. They need to be pretty quick tails on them to make it worth it. Now, if it's smaller items, then you've got you can have a longer tail on them.
Okay.
For example, I found a cheese knife.
Okay.
A cheese knife that was made by some designer, and it's got a mouse on it, and that cheese knife is listed at $50.
Nice.
If I had 100 of those cheese knives, that wouldn't be that much space.
That's true.
Wouldn't be that much weight, and yet it was still going a ton. We've talked about, you and I have talked about doll furniture. How expensive some doll furnitures can be, and stuff like that. That are higher value than a thrift store. It's more of a specific items you can find. You still find them at thrift stores.
Gotcha. And then the only thing I was thinking, maybe this would be more work than it's worth. Could you actually haul things on a school bus? Like can you get like a roof rack or like a side rack or something like that, or something on the back?
You could put, Well, you can pull a trailer with those things.
Oh my goodness!
But like a cargo trailer, but we're going to be pulling a vehicle.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that way we can park it and drive around town. But yeah, those things are sturdy. People walk up on them. Down here in NASCAR country, people take those buses and they put decks on them so they can walk. They stand up on top of the bus and watch. How
high is that? It's probably like, I'm guessing 15 to 20 feet, or
no, it's under 12.
Oh, it's under 12. Okay.
Yeah, because I think 12.2 is your maximum height for vehicles.
Okay.
Outside of trucks and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't even know that. Okay. That's okay. Okay. So I don't want to keep you for too long, but how can people, because I want, if you could talk about Roaming Pickers again, just for a little bit, the YouTube channel, how can they reach out to you if they want to find out more about the journey?
Well, if they want to find out more, of course, go to the YouTube channel, Roaming Pickers. It's pretty much a blank slate right now. What's going to be neat is everything's going to be a blank slate. I am taking very, very little inventory with me to start. So they will see how a complete startup goes through. And then also seeing how a complete build. I've got two things running at the same time. I'm doing an eBay and reselling business and building a RV Skoolie. So there'll be
that name's awesome, Skoolies.
So they can go to that, and of course, Instagram is the Roaming Pickers, and definitely we're doing this journey to fulfill a pretty much lifelong dream of mine, but also to meet people. It's just one of our hopes with this is that like somebody would reach out, say we're in, Tumble, Iowa, and somebody up in Minneapolis says, "Hey, Russ, I've got a big driveway. Come up here and we'll go sourcing together." And go up there for a week and source in Minneapolis. And then somebody calls, if somebody knows, says, "Hey, I'm over in the not Twin Cities. I'm over in Omaha. Let's go sourcing together." And I run down there and meet those people, and if they they help out, say I've got questions on this, or if they need help with that, kind of help them out, motivate them to the point of going, and just it's about the journey.
Yeah, and that's true freedom right there.
Yeah, about the journey, and we really just to meet people and to have that experience. This is I don't care what the news says. I don't care what's on negative on social media. This country is full of a lot of great people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And a lot of just interesting, neat stories and little places that are just beautiful. I know some spots that are just absolutely jaw-dropping beautiful that and nobody goes to them or nobody sees them. We all know about Yellowstone, all that stuff. But to be out on the prairies or the Great Plains of Nebraska and be up on a hillside and see for forever and watch the wheat wave in the wind or you can hear the corn grow out there. That's beauty, and wide open skies. How get back into that wide open Montana skies. That's the journey.
That's awesome. I want to see some pictures.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be. I'm working on the internet issue because that's always the question. Are
you gonna probably get like a hotspot, or is that how it's gonna work? Or
they've got some new technology out that's working pretty well. It's limited on data that are seen, but there's a couple channels that I watch and learn from.
Okay.
They've came out with some better technology on that, but it's expensive. My internet's going to run me about $150 a month.
Yikes! Does that turn your vehicle into its own mini tower or something like that? Or
pretty much, it's just like your home. I'll have Wi-Fi on it. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of free Wi-Fi out there, but you have to connect into it. And
yeah,
a lot of campgrounds have free Wi-Fi, but you've got to get range extenders. And but yeah, it's about $150 a month, and that's if I don't go over the data.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a whole show in itself right there. Figuring out the Wi-Fi.
There's a couple that's been doing it for quite a few years. They have an entire book and series, and I mean they've really delved into it deep, and it's an hours long discussion.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And I complain about the Wi-Fi in my house.
Yeah, and it's going to do, but some of that's going to be nice, Mo, because there's going to be times where, you talked about that, the phone being off.
Yeah.
There's going to be times where I'm going to not want Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be glad that I don't have Wi-Fi or I don't have a service, because we got to disconnect more.
Yeah, you got to disconnect so you can actually really connect.
Yeah. I mean,
in a sense,
true. You get into, we're talking about what you fill your day with when you're tied in and connected, quote, to the internet, and then how you have to change that when you don't have internet.
That's right.
Yeah, or you've got to watch your data.
Well, I really want to thank Russ for coming on our show. Since he's the co-host of the Reseller Niche podcast. But I want to thank everybody else for listening out there. Check out his YouTube channel, the Roaming Pickers, and his Instagram, the Roaming Pickers. He's been posting some pictures already, and then I can't wait to see the RV the Skoolie when you get it.
June, we're hit June. July is build month, find month.
Okay.
So we're going to be finding the bus in July and start working on it then.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
It'll be fun. We'll come out to see you, Bo.
Oh, let's make a plan.
How big is your driveway?
I think it's big enough you might stick out it's a regular 2-car driveway. So it might stick out a little bit. It's got a little bit of a front part. I'll measure it for you. We'll find out. I should know that.
There we go. We'll park on the street.
There you go. But I really want to thank everyone for listening. And until the next one, thanks for listening to the Reseller Niche podcast. Have a good one.
See you.
Thank you for listening to the Reseller Niche podcast. Show notes and social media links are located at resellerniche.com. Please like and subscribe to us on iTunes.